We're about to do something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I'm about to go back to Tibetan and Qiang, Sichuan. Let's go. Yeah, I had some really important footage that I was going to put right here, but I've lost it. In that footage, I sort of unpacked all of the things that were going on. I was just like in awe of everything that I had seen that day. So I'll try to recreate it, but yeah, well, I'll take you kind of through the day-to-day of what happened, and then at the end, you'll see something like this, and I'm going to unpack what all of it kind of meant. We decided to break up our journey there into two parts. We were going to do half the night before and then half the day of the trip. So we left a little bit early, and the thing that kind of stood out to me and stands out to me was something just really simple, and that was like driving through the dark. Because a majority of Chinese people live in cities or counties or villages, and they're all lit really well. And I hadn't driven through the dark, or I guess ridden through the dark, in a really long time. Like, there are no lights along these little highways. There's just nothing there. It's just the shadows of the mountains and the moon. Like, that's all that you can really see, is the moonlight coming down and then the mountains. Like, just driving through the dark. It's a very small thing, but it was really kind of crazy. So there's that rooster I've been hearing all morning. There's freaking two of them right there on the front porch. Jeez. Let's see if they attack. Nope, they're chilling. They're chilling. All right. Bit of a misty morning. All right, so this is Jeremy. He's like the big boss. He's driving us around to everything. So this series of videos is sponsored by him and his company. He takes people just all around these like hidden gems all around Sichuan and just this kind of area of China. So like, what's our plan for today? What are we doing?
Nice. So obviously, as you know, yesterday we headed about 5 hours up here to kill some of the driving time because it is far. And we'll head up to the border of Gansu and Sichuan to a place called Langmusi. And there's an awesome town, one of my favorite places. And we'll stop at there's a horse festival, like a Tibetan horse festival.
Right. Yeah.
And Roar Guy is near there, and also Seven River Bend. I forget the Chinese name, but I'm not sure we can go in there. But yeah, really nice area. The Roar, just all the plains and the scenery right after Songpan get really nice. Yeah. So it should be cool.
All right, sounds like a good day. Let's get to it. I gotta tell you, it's a lot greener than I thought it would be. Because when you get up into this area of Sichuan, it tends to dry out. But no, it's all right. Hey, little man. Oh, there he goes. Oh, look at the little doggies. Check out breakfast. Check out breakfast. Got some eggs, some green vegetables, some potatoes, and some bread, and congee. But yeah, look at this. Got some meat hanging up here. Some dried meat. Oh, this is cool. Let's get the day started.
Right.
Oh yeah, it goes all the way down that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a huge rock slide. Oof.
So yeah, that's probably what killed the tourism right there. But
Yeah, possibly. part of Songpan County. And on our way up, we were traveling right through the valleys and among all the like Qiang villages, and you can really see how things are so different from the Han Chinese part of Sichuan around, let's say, Chengdu or Ya'an and places, and it's so completely different. The vibe from the architecture and like the mountains are really imposing. They're very close, lonely roads. But then when you get into Songpan, things start to open up, and you start to get like onto like the Tibetan Plateau, and everything gets so much more Tibetan as you kind of like Songpan is sort of the line between Qiang and Tibetan. You get a little bit of mixing before Songpan, but once you get about here, everything gets Tibetan, and it's where everything starts to get really cool and really different. And yeah, just the mountain air, and like you can see like how clean the sky is and how clean the air is. It's wonderful. All right, motorcycle. Man, it's quite the journey. But a little bit of real talk, it's kind of hard traveling in this area of Sichuan at the moment, and it's sort of always been hard because Tibetan areas and minority areas are rather sensitive in China politically. It's tough because like when we were traveling last night to get around, get up to this area, we have to get off of the highway and take some smaller roads because the police won't let foreigners travel to this area, and like there have been problems with like foreigners being turned back and like the police like taking licenses and passports and driving foreigners back to the next checkpoint down the road and sending them back the way they came. So there's all these weird regulations and things going on, and it's hard to find hotels for foreigners to stay in. And so when you're traveling around this part of Sichuan, you always have to have a backup plan. You always have to be flexible. You should like plan, let's say, travel for a week, and then we get to what we get to, because you never really know in this part of Sichuan where you're going to be able to go and what you're going to be able to see, because now they're requiring COVID tests for a lot of people. They're requiring like different health codes on your phones. They're requiring this and that. And some places flat out will say foreigners can't be here. So yeah, just be careful. Be careful with where you're going, and just keep an eye out. Always be compliant with the authorities. Always listen to what they say. Like fighting with the authorities is not going to get you anywhere. So just, be careful. Nice. You driving? Oh, nope. Chickened out. Chickened out. All I got to say is, what the heck is that?
I was thinking it's like more of the Islam kind of feel, but I don't know really.
So despite me saying like you got to be careful with the police and getting around this and restrictions on foreigners, but I mean, look at this place. This is just the beginning of everything. This is the beginning. Totally worth it. Now things are getting real, and at this stop right here, you can see all of like the pasture and like the grazing areas. Like it's been ripped up by all of the yak that have been coming through here, and they kind of go all around the mountains here. Like you see yak kind of dotting the mountains, because the people who herd these are of course nomads. They are nomads, and they just kind of run around seasonally. And like we're at this pass right here. This is the Gali Pass, and it's about 4,000 meters or so. So it's pretty high. This is the highest point I think we're going to get to today. But yeah, this is something else. It's not Sichuan like you think of Sichuan, is it? No, it's not. And then the landscape changes even more. Like you've been climbing through these mountains and then you come out on top, which I think is part of the Tibetan Plateau. Maybe, but don't quote me on that. And then you get up on there and then you get all the yak and you get the horses and the grasslands and all of this sort of stuff. And then, like, mind you, like, all of this has changed within one day's drive. And we did all of that drive on the way back. We did all of this in a day. And then you notice it starts to get cold because you've been climbing mountains this whole time. And so that's another thing. So within a day's drive, like 10 hours drive, you've noticed the landscape change, the temperature change with the elevation. You've noticed the architecture change. You've noticed cultural changes twice, by the way. So Han, Qiang, Tibetan. So you've seen all of this change. You also notice the vibe changes as well. The feeling changes when you're up there because you have a different landscape, you have different cultures, different people, different altitude, all of this sort of stuff. Like, it all kind of comes together and creates a whole different vibe that's really hard to describe. It's almost like going to a different country, but you're not in a different country. You are still in the same country and in the same province as well. So you've seen all this change happening within one province. That's the crazy thing. You feel like, well, I've just moved into Tibet. Now, historically, that is sort of true because, like, that region used to belong to Tibet, but now it's part of Sichuan. And it is crazy because I had this idea of Sichuan. It was, you know, Chengdu, Mianyang, Ya'an, Longchang, Neijiang, and just kind of southeast Sichuan. I've been to Wenchuan before and Dujiangyan. And so they're all sort of the same, but then you go up and it's like, whoa, my box just got blown out of the water. My whole idea of what Sichuan is just got blown out of the water. And I was just thinking, wow, yeah, you can't put Sichuan in a box. And think about that, not just Sichuan. Sichuan is just one province of China. You know, imagine all of China now. You can't just put China in a box and say that China is this one thing. You can't, because look at what just happened within one province. Now, don't tell me that China is just one thing, because if you do, you are woefully ignorant. And that is sort of why I've made my channel the way that I've made it. I've made it about Chengdu. I've made it about Sichuan mostly, because you can't generalize about China. It's not a good idea because it is also inaccurate. It's not a good thing to do. China is so big geographically and so diverse in terms of cultures, and there's so many different kinds of experiences that you can have in China that if you start to just say China is this thing, then you're getting into that armchair expert, like people who don't speak Chinese and people who've never traveled around, people who've never even been to China, but they think they know China. That's wrong. And all of this stuff was just sort of swirling through my mind as I was recording my original footage, and it was even more like kind of from the heart than even this was. It was quite something. So, lot to unpack. And this is just the beginning. There's so much more to come in this series, in this Langmusi series. So I'm looking forward to sharing the rest with all of you guys. It's rare that I sit down and share things so candidly like this, or at least it feels rare to me. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of the series. Thank you all very much for watching. Please check out channel memberships if you want to see the upcoming videos, because you'll get early access, you'll get the Discord server, you'll get exclusive photos and all sorts of other things. Yeah, and that's about going to do it. Again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.